I just picked up maybe the most exciting piece of gear that I've gotten in a long time, and it's this thing. This thing right here. This is a slider from Zeapon? Zeapon? However you say it, this is the Micro 3 slider from Zeapon, and this is the 1000 series of this slider. It comes in 3 sizes, and it is a double distance slider, but I've got some more pieces for it. Today we're gonna go over this slider, pros and cons of this thing, although I've got a lot more pros than I do cons, and I'm gonna talk about how I'm gonna use this. We'll hit on some specs and all that, but mainly I just wanna talk about like why would you buy a slider? Why am I so excited for a slider, especially one that has the tricks that this one has. Boost this up a bit. Okay, this is the slider itself. It comes with feet, but it also comes with a mounting point on the bottom, and then you're gonna see there's 2 mounting points on the outside that are gonna come in handy for something that's included in this. Now you can just pop this onto a flat surface like this, and when you unlock the slider, you can put a ball head on here, put your camera on here, and then boom, this slider, it slides and you get super smooth shots. But what you'll see is that it's a track system inside a track system with the whole belt drive. So instead of, it's this long and sliding from here to here to here and that's it, the whole track moves, and because of that, you get a double distance slide. This thing goes all the way over to there, then from here goes all the way back across the track and all the way over to here. That is a long slide for a slider that when you pack it up is only this large. So double distance slider, very, very cool to have. Now this slider though, it comes in 3 sizes and 2 versions. So there's the 500, the 700, and the 1000 length, that's the length, and then the E and M versions of both. Now the slider itself on the E and the M version, exactly the same, but the E version comes with this bad boy. This right here is the electronic motor for the Micro 3 that just clicks on to the slider super easy. So you can buy just the manual version and then later buy the motor, but it basically just has these 2 little screw bits that you slap on here, you screw them both in, and that's it. I just turned this manual slider into an electric slider. Pop a battery pack on to the front and get this bad boy fired up. And just like that, I now have a motorized slider. And just with this setup right here, there's already a lot that I can do, mainly because they have an app for the slider. As soon as I open the app, it's already looking to connect to this motor. It connects to it, and now I can control the slide, or I can set different parameters like an A start point, a B end point, or I can say, here's A, here's B. I want you to just kind of go back and forth over and over and over again until I tell you to stop, which is gonna be one way that I use this setup. So now the app is connected, just in the app, I can control this pan movement, I can control the speed, I can set waypoints on here, and then let's go way over here. I'll say this is A, and then go way down here, and I'll just say that spot right there is B, turn them on a loop, and hit play. So now let's say that you had an interview shot and this was your main angle shot. Well, you could have this set up as a B cam on the person, that kind of off angle shot that you get. And this camera is just gonna go back and forth during the entire interview so that you can cut between your main angle shot and a sliding second angle shot on that person during the interview. Now, how I'll be using this exact setup in here is I will have this setup right off to the side here with a 90mm macro lens on it, which if you're shooting macro and you're trying to do any sort of slides is much more difficult without a slider, but I will have this over there so that anytime that I'm showing you guys something, like if I'm showing you the Ace Pro Quick Reader and I'm showing that kind of tight shot, there'll actually be like a little bit of movement to the shot now. So instead of just a static shot that I'm showing something to the camera, there'll be a bit of a movement to the shot. Now, a slide wouldn't work great for that. I kind of need more something where it can pan as it slides. And I got something for that too. Hang on, let me stop this. Let me take a 1-minute break to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in all sorts of topics. So whether you're into animation, film and video, graphic design, photography, or looking to hone your skills in productivity, entrepreneurship, finance, Skillshare has a class for you. I've been diving into all sorts of classes the past few months on there, but the one that I keep coming back to is from Ali Abdaal. He's from YouTube. He's all about productivity, and he has a learning path on Skillshare called Master Your Productivity, which has 4 of Ali's classes on there and almost 8 hours of instructions from Ali. And the one that was the most useful for me was his Notion Masterclass, because learning that program has been super intimidating. But since his class, I've been able to walk through Notion and really organize my life, organize this channel, organize all sorts of elements of my world and my productivity just because of his class. If you too are a lifelong learner and you want to try out Skillshare for yourself, shoot to the first link in the description, and the first 500 people to use that link, go over to Skillshare, get signed up. You will get 30 days completely free to Skillshare. Unlimited access, go in there, use any of their classes completely free. Okay, now let's get back to the slider. Oh, this right here is the Zeapon PT Pons kit. The Pons is the name and the PT is for pan and tilt. Now we'll look at the pan first and just get this bit on. So this bit right here is a pan head. So if I slap a battery on to this guy and I'll get it fired up. Same thing within the app, I can connect wirelessly to this. So I don't need a wire going from this guy to run it all. I'm just wirelessly connecting to both heads through the app. I can screw this bit onto the middle here. And now check this out. I can now pan this piece while controlling my slide of this piece. So I could be going this way, turning my camera that way. I now have control of both of these heads to have a slide and a pan in these shots. And it is shockingly smooth and shockingly quiet. This is on full speed. If I bring the speed down to somewhere around like 50% here, you'll see that it gets even quieter. Now you can barely hear the motor, which is exactly what I need. I need a very quiet slider because it's gonna be sitting right next to the setup. The other shot that I really wanna get with this is when I'm showing you guys different products, to be able to show really tiny macro shots like they do in like the launch videos for Apple, where it's something really, really tiny, like just the lenses, and it's a macro shot, but there's a bit of movement, like it's just barely moving across it. Now, I wouldn't be able to do that with just a slide and just a pan, so let's stop this and let's add in some tilt. That is where the T of the Pons PT kit comes in, and check out this tilt arm kit, which is essentially another one of these motors. So now this will be my pan, this will be my tilt, and then this will be my slide. And now I can do all sorts of cool movements. And to go from pan to tilt with this system is incredibly simple. I just lock this bit in here, lock this guy on here, and then add another battery onto this tilt arm. And gonna pop this on the bottom of my camera. So now I can make the camera look up, I can make the camera look down, I can pan the camera right, I can pan the camera left, and then I can control slide. So now I can create a bunch of really cool movements. I could say A and B and just have it loop, like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use this for mostly. But I can also put a bunch of different waypoints in the app so I could have it go from position to position on a set schedule. And it's repeatable, and it's smooth, and I am very excited for this setup. The last thing to check out is how to actually mount this thing, because on a table all the time, like you don't always have a table, you wanna mount this on a tripod, and it has a trick feature for that too. Bring in a heavy duty tripod and just mount this plate right to the bottom. Normally you would do this first before you mounted everything up, but I didn't do that. Okay, so now you can see on the tripod, I have it set up in a way that the center point is right here, but again, with the double distance slider, this thing, it's gonna go way out over here, putting a lot of weight, a lot of strain on that center point. So we don't want that. Now, one thing you can do is there's tripod setups at both sides, so you can just use 2 tripods, but included with the E1000 slider is, and conveniently located inside the box here, are 2 stabilizing arms. So these 2 arms right here are designed to hook into the bottom tripod spots, the 2 pieces where if you put 2 tripods on there, and then this bit here is going to attach down to my tripod. Let me get this all hooked in. Just screw that bit in there, extend down the arm. Oh yeah, that's 1. And boom, now with just a single tripod, I now have supports at these endpoints. So now when I send the carriage all the way over to one end, it's being supported by that arm. There's no sway. It's not dipping at all because it now has 3 points. So it has this middle point still, but now it has these 2 outside points holding the entire thing up. So I don't have to worry that this thing is gonna go tumbling over because it's only being supported by that center bolt. This will be used in almost every video that I make on this channel now. Let me put it in place. I'll show you what this shot's actually gonna look like. Even carrying this thing, everything feels so solid. Okay, with that set in place, again, I can turn the loop on, I can hit play, and now it's gonna go to the A position, and it's gonna just start going. So now I can grab something like the DJI Mic 2s, I can put them up here for the camera and have motion in my shot. It's like having a second cameraman, but he's really smooth and he's really good at his job. And I can sit there and show things, could pull something out, show it up a little closer to the camera, kind of get that cool shot. There's a bit of motion in there. And again, this is just gonna go back and forth, back and forth. So the whole time that I was shooting an A-roll piece with you guys, talking to you about a product, explaining what I'm talking about, I can then look over for that tight shot and just kind of go boop and get a super tight shot that has movement on it, but a really, really smooth slide. And again, I can set the pan, I can set the tilt, I can set all that in the app. This is one of the most impressive systems that I've used in a while. This is, like I said, this is the piece of gear that I'm most excited about for this channel. Let me grab it again. And I think for this setup right here, I'm under $1,400 for the slider, the E slider. That piece comes separately, so the E1000, and then the PT Pons is 2 systems that I put together here to make this. I'll exit on a few of the different shots that I'm gonna be trying with this thing. I'm gonna just play around with this thing all day now and see what kind of cool shots I get. But I promise you that as you watch this channel throughout this year, make a comment. Make a comment if you spot a piece and you go, oh, that was the Zeapon. Someone else will tell me how to say that name. Zeapon slider? I wanna hear your thoughts on this slider, on a kit like this. Is this something that your kind of production could use, being able to slide, being able to pan, being able to tilt with a whole system that's under $1,400? Again, that's kind of crazy for this good of a build quality system to be that price and to be able to do what this system can do. Like I said, I'm gonna go get a bunch of shots with this system today. I'll include some of those throughout this video, sprinkled in, and then for this outro here. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll see you soon. Oh, the feet have little levelers in them too. That's cool.